In a news story making headlines on social media, which was monitored by the New Africa channel, Zambia is currently in serious talks with global automakers, inviting them to come build electric vehicle component factories right next to its vast copper mining operations. Why? Because Zambia is tired of merely digging and shipping out raw materials while the real profits get made elsewhere. This story, which has also been reported by outlets like Business Insider Africa and Bloomberg, indicates that Zambia wants to flip the script, climb higher up the value chain, and insert itself firmly into the global EV supply network. But what's really going on behind this move? And what does it mean not just for Zambia, but for the future of electric vehicles across the African continent? Now let's start with what we know. Finance Minister Situmbeko Musokotwane, during the Bloomberg Africa Business Media Innovators conference in Livingstone, didn't mince words. He said that even the previous week, when he had been in Germany, he had urged companies to consider manufacturing some of their electric vehicle components in Zambia. And here's the kicker. Those components, once built in Zambia, could then be shipped to car assembly plants in South Africa, an established export hub, creating a seamless Southern African EV supply corridor that he emphasized would be a powerful way of value addition. He's not wrong. And let's be real, copper is everything in the EV world. It's the bloodstream of the green revolution, used in batteries, motors, wiring, you name it. Zambia just happens to be Africa's second largest copper producer. And now it's asking the critical question. Why should we export raw copper to the West and Asia only to buy back expensive EVs later? Why not just manufacture the components right here near the mines and keep more of the profits and jobs on the continent? Interestingly, Zambia isn't starting from zero. The EV wave has already touched down. The Chinese electric vehicle giant BYD, the world's largest EV manufacturer, has made a move into the country, teaming up with local player Pilatus Electric Mobility Zambia Limited. Now, this partnership is more than a business deal. It's a statement. It signals that serious players see potential in Zambia, not just as a resource pit, but as a critical piece of EV future. So, is Zambia quietly setting itself up to be the Detroit of Africa's electric revolution? More broadly, there's an EV awakening happening across Africa. Countries like Kenya, Rwanda, and Ghana are electrifying their transportation sectors, promoting local assembly, and investing in charging infrastructure. But Zambia's approach is slightly different. It's not just focusing on the cars. It's targeting the guts of the system, the components. That's not just smart, it's visionary. And it raises an important question. What if other African countries follow suit? What if the continent collectively moved from consumer to producer in the EV value chain? Now let's talk strategy. Zambia's location is no accident. Besides being copper rich, the country sits comfortably within Southern Africa, close to ports in Mozambique and South Africa, and connected to the CADC market, a region with over 380 million people. South Africa already has a thriving auto export industry, so why not let Zambia make the parts and South Africa ship the finished product to the world? It's efficient, cost-effective, and keeps the entire value cycle within the region. This isn't just a logistical win, it's a geopolitical one. A Southern African EV ecosystem could rival Asia's dominance if coordinated well. But there's more. This initiative isn't just about economics, it's about sovereignty and dignity. For decades, African countries have watched as their raw materials were shipped off, processed elsewhere, and sold back at a premium. Zambia is saying, not anymore. It's about creating skilled jobs, keeping wealth within borders, and asserting control over the green energy future. What happens when African nations stop asking for a seat at the table and start building their own? Of course, Zambia's gamble isn't without risks. The country is currently wrapping up an IMF program and has promised to maintain fiscal discipline going forward. But imagine if it pulls this off. First, Zambia itself would stand to gain massively. Thousands of jobs, new technology transfers, improved infrastructure, and most importantly, economic resilience. No longer just a copper exporter, Zambia could become a full blown manufacturing hub. That changes everything. Then zoom out a little further. Zambia's success could set a precedent for other mineral rich African nations. Think DRC with cobalt, think Zimbabwe with lithium, or Guinea with bauxite. What if these countries started insisting on value addition at home too? What if instead of being at the mercy of global markets, African nations collaborated to form a continental EV supply chain, from minerals to manufacturing to export? We are talking about a fundamental shift in the global economic order, with Africa not just participating, but leading. Now, all of this feeds into a much bigger dream, a pan-African industrial renaissance powered by our own resources and driven by our own policies. It's the kind of vision Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, and Patrice Lumumba would have championed. And it's not a pie in the sky anymore. It's within reach. And Zambia just might be the spark that lights the fire. So what now? Will other African leaders take the hint? Will automakers seize the opportunity to invest not just in profit, but in purpose? Will the continent finally become a factory floor for the future instead of a warehouse for the past?
Zambia is rolling the dice, yes, but is doing so with a clear eye on the prize, ownership, value, and a place at the high table of global green energy. And maybe, just maybe, if Africa plays its cards right, the EV revolution might end up being the most pan-African thing to ever hit the global economy. Your perspective matters. What do you make of Zambia's efforts to draw global EV manufacturers into the country to manufacture components near the copper mines? Share your thoughts and insights in the comment section below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the New Africa channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our informative future videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for watching.